ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the current edition of the Free Thought Forum, brought to you by the friendly folks at PA Nonbelievers, who are also affiliated with American Atheists, Atheist Alliance International, and the Council for Secular Humanism. Now, if you want to see what basically we're all about, well, you can visit us on our webpage at panonbelievers.org. That's not com, that's org. And you can like us on Facebook on facebook.com/Pennsylvania Nonbelievers, all one word. Or you can make like the president and follow us on Twitter at PA Nonbelievers. I hope you enjoyed that little promo. We are the largest atheist organization and affiliates and everything in the central Pennsylvania area, and we have people that also come up and visit us from down in DC, and our members are throughout the state of Pennsylvania, actually throughout the United States, so we're fairly well represented. And we'd like to get together with any other organization that has similar views as us and similar values. And I know people say, well, what kind of values can an atheist possibly have? Well, we have all the values, or some of the good values that some of the Christian people do, except that we don't feel as though we need to thank a deity. We try to live our lives as good people. The morals, basic moral code is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And now, I mean, obviously, if you enjoy pain and everything, and you ask an atheist, well, inflict some pain on us, something, we'll kindly decline to do that. But basically, we are a friendly organization. Now, the Pennsylvania Nonbelievers Board is always planning new and fun ways to get together and meet more of our fellow atheists and non-believers, whatever moniker that you are comfortable with. Not everyone is very familiar, or I should say comfortable with the word atheist. I don't particularly like it either, but sometimes I will use it as shock value, and it's great, and you can surprise someone and say, well, I'm an atheist, and they say, like, God. And I said, no, not God, no God. So anyway, our outreach committee it was headed by Josh, I'm going to kill his name, Kruvakibbe. I apologize to you, Josh, if I messed up your name, has set up brewery tour meetups. And I hope that you will be able to attend at least one of these. The first one was on June the 23rd at Springgate Vineyard. And I believe there is going to be more in July as well, and I believe it...
14th. They'll be on the 14th at...
On the 14th.
4:15 and then 7 p.m. It'll be sort of a two-parter.
Very good. I mean, it's always nice if you can, sample some, I'm going to say booze, but I like wine. I don't like getting drunk. I haven't, but I'll gladly sample a lot of wines. Hey, I look like I'm over one side of the screen, all the way over to the left. Can you smooth the camera over very slowly so I'm slightly more in the center screen, my friend?
Yes, I can.
Very good. Well, it's not good yet, but
More centered.
It's getting there. Okay. We also just had our yearly summer solstice party that was hosted by Yolanda Forey and Steve Neubauer at their place, and they've got a nice little ranch that's a lot of view, and it's secluded away. So thanks again, Yolanda and Steve. Now, if you really want to interact with other atheists in the area and out of the area too, the Pennsylvania Atheist Humanist Conference would be a great way to interact with fellow nonbelievers. Now, you know the drill. It's October the 13th through the 15th at the Embassy Suites in Philadelphia Airport, and it's at the Atheists Fight Hunger event on Sunday. Now, if you want some more information on this, just go to www.atheistpa.org and get your tickets. Don't be disappointed that they're all sold out. Also, where else are you going to have the opportunity to hear Lawrence Krauss? Throw his picture up on the screen there. Up close and personal. If you're not really sure who he is, well, we don't have space here to go over all his accomplishments. We'll just hit the high points. Lawrence Krauss is director of the Origins Project at Arizona State University and foundation professor in the School of Earth and Space Exploration and physics interests. It's include I'm trying to read a little profile here. Include the interface between elementary particles, physics, and cosmology. Krauss is... Yes, I can't read it with it down. Krauss is the only physicist to have received the top awards from all three U.S. physics societies, the American Physical Society, the American Institute of Physics, and the American Association of Physics, and teacher in 2012. He was awarded the National Science Board's prestigious Public Service Award. I've got to get new glasses. Among the other things that are included are the 2013 Roma Award from the City of Rome and the 2015 Humanist Award of the Year from the American Humanist Association. Lawrence Krauss is a lively speaker and he's worth the price of admission just by himself. Mm-hmm. If you are interested in volunteering for any events, or if you want more information, you can look up some of our tabling events that we've got coming up throughout the summer, and you can drop by and see us. We should have some of the events listed on the screen during the show, so we would appreciate you dropping by. Talk with an atheist, with a non-believer, with a humanist, and see what it's all about. We don't really want to, bash religion, as it were. We just don't want religions to bash us. And it's surprising the vitriol and the hatred that is generated with just the word atheist or non-believer. And I mean, it really is disconcerting, because some of the common views of atheists are totally off the wall and totally incorrect. I'm sorry. Boy, this is...
Yeah, Doug, I've been actually approached at work. One person came up to me once. This is before I retired.
Yeah.
They come up to me, and I know you've heard this before, but they looked at me and said, "You can't be an atheist." And I'm looking at it, and you're too nice. And it's like their concept of an atheist was this a Dr. Scrooge character, or beat on the poor, and
we have horns and fangs, and we eat little babies.
We gave up baby eating a long time ago. At least I did personally.
Yeah, well, I've always found them a little on the gristly side.
Doug. That's not true. They're nice and tender.
Yes. We also sometimes have a little bit of a warped sense of humor, but
that's not atheist. That's you and me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's very true. But we try to keep it as lighthearted as we can. And if you stop by any of our tabling events that we have coming up, you get to meet us, and we're not behind in a cage or behind bars or anything, and we actually could reach out and touch you and maybe shake your hand and thank you for coming. So don't be afraid. Look us up.
I have 2 table events appearing at the bottom of the screen now. It's a Chambersburg Old Market Day, which is this Saturday. And then the Pride Festival is Central PA, which is at the end of the month. That's a lot of fun. They're both fun. All table events that I've ever been to have always been a great deal of fun, and it always never fails to surprise me that people come up to us. Well, we get all sorts of people coming up to us, including what I call, it looks like someone just bit into a lemon when they see our sign, but that's another thing entirely. But there's always somebody that comes up and makes the statement that they never knew that there was anybody like them with their sort of beliefs of, well, actually their non-belief of the supernatural in this area in Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania. This area is sometimes referred to as Pennsyltucky, meaning some very deep South beliefs.
Religious beliefs.
I've lived deep South, and it's a very nice, wonderful, wonderful place, but with rather strong religious beliefs in most parts. So I can understand that sort of a statement. But the tabling events are all a lot of fun, and I am really sorry whenever I miss one. So hopefully, I don't know about Chambersburg. That's a long ways from York, but we'll see about that. Okay.
But they have, usually have T-shirts for sale, and one of our latest ones is you look at it and it looks like a dollar bill printed across the thing, and you read it and you think to yourself, "Oh, in God we trust." But it doesn't say that, and you just sort of have to give it a second look, because it says, "In good we trust," and I think that is a distinction between us and a lot of people, that we try to look at be on the good side of everything, and we try to be as accepting as possible. I mean, I'm friends with a lot of people that are of a religious nature, but we never get into talks of religion or God or Jesus or whatever. And I'll even make a slight admission at this point. On occasion, I have watched the 700 Club. Now, I know it's like, it's a big one, Elizabeth. But I usually will turn it off or switch stations if they start on their rampage about Jesus and Bible verses and God and everything else. But they actually have a surprisingly good historical content on the show, and they have done quite open-minded programs on, like, Palestine and the war in Iraq, and, well, war everywhere it seems, like that. And they have some really, they even occasionally have some surprising scientific programs on. And like I said, I admitted it. Here's me. I'm a non-believer, and I occasionally watch the 700 Club. So I'm sorry to all the people that are going, "Oh, he's sold us out," like that. But no, I'm not converted yet. One of the things that we'd like to look at, it seems that if you get a prescription for something and you want to go to your pharmacy, all of a sudden the pharmacists become our moral arbiters. Now, pharmacists appear to be sensitive creatures, at least where birth control is concerned. And over the last few years, there have been several cases of pharmacists refusing to fill prescriptions for Plan B, the morning after pill, and that has spread to pharmacists declining to fill prescriptions for birth control. Well, my own personal opinion on that is they shouldn't be licensed to be a pharmacy if they're going to have those kind of views. Now, the American Civil Liberties Union and the Southwest Women's Law Center have filed complaints with the New Mexico Human Rights Bureau against Walgreens, according to the Albuquerque Journal. And the complaint states that a Walgreens pharmacist refused to fill a teenager's prescription. The pharmacist told the girl's mother that they would have to go elsewhere, explicitly citing his personal beliefs. Well, who the hell asked him what his personal beliefs is? Who cares what his personal beliefs is? I mean, if you're a pharmacist, you look at that little slip of paper from the doctor and you fill it. And it says the particular drug that they had the prescription for was misoprostol. which can be used to induce abortions. But that was not the case in this situation. The complaint points out that this is a clear gender discrimination, which is illegal under New Mexico's Human Rights Act. The Walgreens, Aaron Armstrong explains that Walgreens can work to accommodate the personal beliefs of its employees, must not do so by permitting discriminatory denials of care that burden the patients and their customers. So, what do you think? Do you think that when you're hired by a company as a pharmacist, that you think that my views, I'm not a pharmacist, but if I was a pharmacist, that you should be able to inspect the prescription and say, well, no, that doesn't fit with my moral code. What do you think? I mean, this is a live call-in TV show, and if you have a comment or a question about it, give us a call at the number on the screen, which is 846 5087.
No, 5067. New glasses, Doug. New glasses.
The writing on that little monitor you got up there, that's awfully small. And it reminds me that I should go see an optometrist and get a new pair of glasses.
The monitor you're looking at is actually about the size of an e-book. And you're trying to read it from 6 or 7 feet away. I challenge anybody to read their e-book 6 feet away from them and know all the letters.
Yeah. Anyway, if anyone would like to give a call in with a comment or a question, we'll be glad to entertain you, hopefully, or answer your questions. And we look forward to your call. Of course, if you don't call, I get this program's just going to seem to drag on and drag on and drag on. So,
and they'll have to listen to you and me the whole time.
Yeah. Pick up the phone. Let's see. What else do we have here? Did we participate in this year's St. Patrick Day parade?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think we did. Keep talking and I'll look it up.
Oh, I was just wondering because, unfortunately, getting older and more decrepit, my knees kind of prevent me from walking more than, from here to the kitchen. Do you know that, did you know that, years ago, the Catholic Church required its members to abstain from eating red meat every Friday? And that was for almost 40 years. Meat is forbidden on Fridays in Lent. Now, Bishop Zubik told Pittsburgh Catholics that they could go ahead and have a hamburger on this particular St. Patrick's Day parade. Can you imagine that someone's giving you permission to eat? Now, I remember it very well because I was dating a Catholic girl at the time. And Fridays were always a challenge. If you go out, you're going to take them out to dinner or something, you have to find some place that will serve fish.
Or beaver. Beaver was actually okayed. Believe it or not, beaver was actually okayed at one time.
Yeah.
Probably 100 years ago or whatever, but whenever. But it was okayed at one time. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's.
But anyway, this bishop, like I said, told Catholics they could go ahead and have a hamburger on this particular St. Patrick's Day Friday. He says, well, he says, I can't believe the hate mail I got over that. He says, the mail says, you're sending us to hell. Who do you think you are to be able to tell us we can eat meat? I mean, it's over something as simple as that, and it draws out hatred, and real hatred. What can I say? You know, strict rules for Orthodox Jews have, have like pork restrictions and everything. So it's not too often that you'll go out and you will see a Jewish person order a rack of ribs. Like that, although that's probably the main reason why I try to avoid the Jewish religion. Not that there's anything wrong with the Jewish people, but it's that belief that I can't have a rack of ribs. I mean, I live for ribs. So, can you think of anything else? To talk about? Well, how about justice in North Carolina? Well, maybe at last. It has taken nearly 4.5 years for the state of North Carolina to bring to trial members of a powerful church who tried to beat the homosexual demons from one of its members. Now, can you imagine doing that? Figure that you can beat the gay out of someone. The Associated Press reports that the first trial for 5 members of the World of Faith Fellowship is starting, as it is written, is stating that as this is written in Book Covenant, church ministry has been charged with kidnapping and assault in beating of Matthew Fenner. If convicted, these people could face up to 2 years in prison. You know, now if you want to see what gay people are like, try going to one of the gay pride parades or events that we've got throughout the area. And except for, you see, men and women, women and men and men walking together, you really wouldn't know that it is a gay pride event, because everyone there seems normal. But then again, why shouldn't they seem normal? Because they are normal. Mm-hmm. It's the people who persecute these people that are in the LBG. What is the whole LBGT?
LGBTQ.
Yeah. Society. These are the really shouldn't be allowed out in public. I mean, okay, if you object to the fact that people are acting contrary to what you believe in, then don't attend the festivals. It's as simple as that. And if you see someone on the street exercising a little bit of PDA, that's public displays of affection, so what? No one's asking for your opinion, and if you don't like it, then turn your head away. Don't look. If it really bothers you that much, if you are really that uptight, maybe you shouldn't even leave your house. Yeah. Make sure that everything you see on TV has no gay content to it at all. But you be living a very, very sheltered life, because if you walk down a street, and except for the occasional rainbow flag you'll see, or a shirt like that, you would never guess what most of the people there are. You walk down a street, you walk in a football game, and you look in the crowd, and you see everyone that's sitting there. You can't tell from what you see who is an atheist, who is a Satanist, if you want, or who is a Catholic. All the faces and all the religions and everything all look alike, and all the people look alike, and you can't tell just by looking at someone that they're not the same as you. But they are the same as you. Very much so. I mean, they have the same values as you, maybe not in that one particular field, as far as, a sexual choice or sexual preference goes, but probably in everything else, they're just like you. And I think that it is important to give people the event to the room to breathe themselves, and not be under the heel of people that try very hard to stuff their beliefs down your throat. I've got a T-shirt which I wear occasionally called "Embrace Diversity," and it's got different religious symbols on the thing, or it tells you to celebrate tolerance. And that is what we seem to lack a lot of here in our society.
I've got an Embrace Diversity shirt too, but it's slightly different. It's I learned how to scuba dive in Hawaii and California, and my Embrace Diversity, the emphasis on the D-I-V-E at the beginning, has on the backside of the shirt, it has a scuba diver diving on a coral reef with all the huge variety of fish, all the different colors, all the different types of fish and sea creatures. And it's a sort of analogous to the human condition of the diversity of people that are in our society. It's just a big, colorful mix of all sorts of things. So I applaud your diversity shirt. I'll have to get one too that just has the symbols on it.
Yeah, I even had one person say to me, now it has, what do you call it, a cross on it, a crucifix. Well, just about every type of religious symbol on it. And one person who knows that I was a non-believer, they said, well, how can you support this, wearing this T-shirt, that if you don't believe in God, why have you got this shirt on? I said, exactly that, because I don't have to believe in your views, your beliefs, and everything. All I have to do is not condemn you or tell me I'm going to hell because I don't believe what you believe. It's just sit back, relax, take it all in like that, and think that if people don't think like you, they're not going to hell, they're not going to heaven, they're really not going any place when they die. You can believe that, and if you firmly believe that, and you are afraid of the everlasting fire, then okay, that's your beliefs, act accordingly. But how many people do you see nowadays that they claim to be Christian? They'll wear a great big silver or gold cross hanging from their neck, and next thing you do is you see them on the news with in a drive-by shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's so funny to think that these people who are talking about Jesus and finding Jesus and everything are anything but Christ-like, if you want. So, yeah.
Speaking of T-shirts, what's with what you got there on your T-shirt? I have a close-up of it now.
Yeah.
Quantum certainty? I thought it was quantum uncertainty or something.
Mm?
Am I remembering the statement wrong?
Now say that again.
It says on your shirt a quantum certainty.
Oh, yes.
It was more an uncertainty or whatever it was.
No, the uncertainty.
Oh, you poisoned Schrodinger's cat. Okay.
Okay. There's no uncertainty as far as I was concerned.
Very good.
Or quantum uncertainty here. I sort of say, well, okay, I fixed it, and I poisoned the cat before it got in the box. But
very good.
Anyway, let me just read you something here. How many of you remember Jim Baker?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
And Tammy Faye Baker.
And Tammy Faye, or whatever the heck her name was, but that wore 35 pounds of makeup. And he was a former head of the scam PTL, Praise the Lord Club, or People That Love. Now, depending on which audience that we were addressing. And husband of the late, they call it raccoon-eyed Tammy Faye, is still around. Maybe he just needs to build up his audience. But his latest rants seem truly bizarre. Now, the Right Wing Watch quotes him as saying that people who are opposed to Donald Trump are attributing to Satan what God did. Let me repeat that. It says that him saying that people who are opposed to Donald Trump are attributing to Satan what God did. Jim then liked the following events, claiming to them to be the signs from God. Trump's trip to Israel, the terrorist attack in Manchester, and the closing of the Ringling Brothers circus. The closing of the circus seemed to particularly bother him. He claimed that it was a result of a national law banning elephants from the circus, which it isn't true. In his feverish brain, this was all part of a plot because of the elephants is a symbol of the Republican Party. Apparently, the circus failed when it lost its elephants, and America will end if it loses its elephant, that is, Donald Trump. Here's how Jim ended his thought. Revelations is now, people, Revelations is now. Here's what God spoke to me. The circus is over. Life as we knew it, unless we turn back to God, is not going to be fun anymore. Well, I don't recall him, dear Jim, ever being fun. I mean, when he was caught, as it was, with his hand in the cookie jar, and he did all his fake tears over his program. But then again, let's face it, every religious man that seems to get caught comes by and tears running down their cheek, and you'll forgive me, I've sinned, and don't say anything, but I'll do it again once the people forget, So
there's Jim Baker.
There's dear old Jim. You don't have a picture of Tammy, do you?
Give me a minute.
Yeah. I know. Oh, he's a lot younger there.
Mm-hmm. Most of the pictures on on Google Images are a pretty young Jim Baker.
Yeah, because after he was caught, boy, he really aged. You got it? No, I guess not.
I will.
Oh, yes. Sorry? Well?
There.
You got Tammy up there now?
Yeah, heavy eyelashes. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think she can open her eyes. It looks like the lashes are too heavy.
Yeah, she was something else, too. Oh, well. So, what the heck else have we got here? Oh, by the way, if you are interested in what atheists think, and what atheists believe in, what they pay attention to in the news, you can request a copy of Pan Views, Panviews. And like I said, this is the newsletter of the PA Nonbelievers. It is put out monthly with contributions from our members and from our wonderful editor, Pam Zerber. Thank you very much, Pam. because I'm quoting from a lot of what she's written during this last one. We have cartoons in there, and anyway, let's see if I can find something else more interesting here. Do you have any other things here for events or tabling events, Jim?
No, you pretty much hit most of them. It's right now our tabling events are the Old Market Day this Saturday and the Pride Fest, and then we've got our conference in October, which is going to be really interesting. I've been to every one of those conferences. They're extremely informative and very interesting, and a lot of people talking about everything. But unfortunately, the one thing I do have only goes to the end of this month. But through the end of this month, there are monthly meetings, which I'll be listing shortly, and the brewery tour meetup, which you talked about earlier, that Joshua's arranging for us. And that's all on the events calendar right now. I know there are more later on in the year, but I only have till the end of July on this one event calendar I have. Sorry about that, but
that's okay.
That's what you get when everything's done by volunteer workers.
Yeah, well, we didn't have as much to go over today as what we normally would. So, PA Nonbelievers in Lancaster, as well as in York, has a social outreach program, which Peggy and Ruth Ann, just in the first names, are heading up. And almost from the beginning in 2010, the Pan Lancaster group has been in social outreach, and initially it was with the Lancaster Women's Shelter. Through the long connection with the women's shelter, Janine Wolfe and Peggy Brown suggested that members contribute items on their wish list, including food, bedding, toiletries, plus household items and cleaning supplies for women that were leaving the shelter. We also had a volunteers that would. Well, we went into the shelter, and we painted and redid the floors and tried to make the place a little bit nicer for the people there that was there. And it was funny because most of the people that were volunteering in doing some rebuilding. Do we have a... hang on, let me see. Hello, caller?
Hi, Doug, it's Pam.
Oh, hi, Pam. We're just talking about you. Were your ears ringing?
Well, I heard. It was very nice of you. Thank you. But I just wanted to add, you didn't mention, I don't think, your prize, which is going to be, and I thought I had it right here, and now I don't. I apologize.
If you want to look for it, that's okay.
Give me one more second. Now, Pride Fest in Central Pennsylvania, I heard you mention that, of course, and York Pride is the Quality Fest is what it's called, and that's why I'm having trouble finding it because I'm looking under the wrong thing.
Oh,
This is what this is what happens when you have volunteers. I heard Jim say that. Okay. It's August 6th,
Guilty as charged.
2017.
mm-hmm.
When?
August.
There's always-
That was August 6th, you said, 2017?
That's right. And we always have a lot of fun at the Pride Fest. Of course, everybody's very friendly and happy. So if you've been wanting to come out to an atheist event and just see what our tables are like and that sort of thing, that'd be, the Pride events are good ones to go to because there's very little hostility. People are happy to see us and it's just a good time.
Yeah. Well, we got the Reading Pride celebration. That's on July the 16th, right? And
Yeah, that's right. And then, of course, Central PA Pride is July 29th, I believe.
that is correct. Yeah.
That's a great big one. But the York Festival is free as opposed to Harrisburg. And Harrisburg is $10, but there's a lot to do at the Harrisburg one. York's is a little smaller, but it's very, like I said, very friendly. Absolutely worth the time and effort to come out.
Yeah. Well, for all the ones that I have attended, I've thoroughly enjoyed, and it's also very interesting to hear the different points of view.
Yes.
And also as far as the community, the LGB, I can't remember what
LGBT. Sometimes there's a Q at the end of it.
And you find out just exactly how similar that we all are.
Well, and it's interesting, too, because while certainly there are religious people who are lesbian or gay or transsexual, a lot of them have had less than wonderful experiences with organized religion.
Yeah.
So they're happy to talk to us about that kind of thing, even if they really aren't fellow atheists or non-believers.
Exactly. We've had a few of those people visiting our booths and saying, well, I'm not really an atheist, but let me talk to you about what I experienced. And it's very enlightening because, I know one of our biggest problems, I guess you could say, as people is that we tend to go in the first direction that we're pushed, or the direction that we see everyone else going.
Well, and I'm sure you know, of course, that the biggest predictor of what religion you'll be is the religion your parents are.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the country that you live in.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much a stonewall certainty that my parents, they listed as Anglican. And I think that first, they told me that I was Anglican too. Well, okay, you'd mainly only hear about the Anglican religion over in Europe and over in England. Mm-hmm. If I'd been born in India or Bangladesh, I most certainly wouldn't have been Anglican. I wouldn't have been then more generally Protestant, and I probably wouldn't have been Catholic. So
that's true.
But I personally, like I said, I don't hold to any religion. I've tried to study all different kinds of religions, and there's various books on religions of the world, and except for the small details in there about the services, and stand up and bless yourself, or whatever the motion is, they're basically all the same. It's not.
That's very true. That's very true. I didn't go to a service that wasn't Catholic until I was in my teens. And I was surprised at how similar it was. I was sitting there thinking, I'm not going to know what to do and I'll look funny. But it was very similar.
Yeah. And I said, I had no idea also what the Catholic was religion was like until I was dating a Catholic girl.
Oh, yes, the meat on Friday brought back many sad memories.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
a big fish eater, and my mother would just make fish sticks every Friday.
Yeah.
Please. Okay, well, I will let you guys go.
Yeah, I thank you very much for calling. And now we have a voice that's attached to some of the text that I read from that you had edited and created.
All right. Well, have a lovely night.
You too. Ta-ta for now. Okay.
Beautiful. That was nice. That was real nice.
Yeah.
Also, just to be alerted, we've got 3 minutes left.
We've got 3 minutes left.
3 minutes left. And I haven't done the meetings yet. I better get that done.
Okay. Did you do the meetings?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to start now. Starting now are the meetings.
Well, I'll read
5
some of them.
meetings, okay? The monthly meetings. You going to read them?
Yep. Chambersburg is the third Tuesday of the month. And will be July 18th at 7 p.m. at the historic Texas Lunch at 108 Lincoln Way West. Okay, the Harrisburg/Le Moyne meeting is the second Thursday of the month, which is July 13th at 6:45 at Isaac's Famous Grilled Sandwiches at Isaac's. Lancaster is the fourth Wednesday of the month. July 26th is the next one, 6:30. Also at Isaac's Famous Grilled Sandwiches on 1559 Mannheim Pike. And finally, Lebanon is on the second Wednesday of the month, which will be on the 12th, at the Backdoff Restaurant, 245 West Main Street, Anvil.
And lastly, the York meeting is going to be on the first. No, it's I had the 1st of July. I forgot to change that. It'll be the first Saturday of the coming month at 10 a.m. and that's at the UUC Carriage House behind the main UUC chapel. I'm not quite sure what the date is because, like I said, I forgot to update it.
Yeah.
So that's 5 meetings, and we have 1 minute and 10 seconds to go.
Okay. Don't forget that the Free Thought Forum is broadcast on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. If you live in York County, you can watch it live on WRCT Cable Channel 16. And it is also streamed live on the station's website, which is at www.wrct.tv/. Pan posts shows on YouTube and Pan's Facebook page. Please remember that we're always looking for volunteers and co-hosts to this show. We thank you very much for tuning in. I imagine that it must be close to...
In the last 15 seconds, we'll both say goodbye. Tell everyone to have a nice weekend, and hope to meet them at some of these tabling events that are happening around the state. I guess I better get the credits up there, shouldn't I? Bye-bye.